I, 28-year-old female, am Latina, and my husband, 29-year-old male, is white. We met in college and got married 2 years ago. His parents have always had issues with our relationship, making indirectly offensive comments about me. They never accepted me as part of the family and treated me like a stranger. A year into the marriage, the situation reached a point where I asked my husband to choose between me and his parents. He chose to stay with me, and we cut off contact with them. Despite my husband defending me from indirect comments, I couldn't handle their disrespect anymore. I felt hurt every time I had to interact with them. Now I'm 7 months pregnant with our first child, and somehow my husband's parents found out. They started calling and texting my husband. I don't know how they got his number, apologizing and expressing a desire to meet their grandchild when it's born. They claim to have changed, and that we shouldn't deny them that. I don't believe them, and I don't want them to have any contact with my child. I don't trust them, and I'm afraid they might do something to harm us. I also don't want my child to grow up hearing the same horrible things they said to me. I think they don't deserve to be part of my child's life after everything they've done. My husband is torn. He says he understands my side, but also misses his parents and wants to give them a chance. He thinks they're the grandparents of our child and might have genuinely changed. He wants to try to reconcile with them and wants me to do the same. I refuse to do that and tell him he can do as he wishes, but I won't let them see our baby when it's born. I say this is my final decision and he has to respect it. He was upset with me, but he agreed, and we haven't discussed it further. Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Please don't. My GMA was a loving woman who was bigoted. She loved me but never forgot I was colored. She told me to never go out in the sun, I would get too dark, told everyone I was Italian, not Puerto Rican, and when I misbehaved, she said I was bad, just like my dad. Do not let these people near your child. They may love the pieces they see of their son, but they won't forget what they don't like at you. It will mess your kid up. Comment 2. Not the idiot. They reached out to their son and never asked to speak to you directly or apologize to you directly. That will be their next move to try and get a toe in the door using the holidays as a pre-bar. Don't fall for it. They said what they said and now they have to live with it. If you give in, they will try and put that shoot into your kid's head. They probably already ordered a little MAGA hat for the kid. Comment 3. My discriminatory parents don't see my kid, ever. They know to stay the F away, too. Since the day I was told, don't bring a black guy home, at around 6 years old, I knew my parents were discriminatory dumb fucks. I've been no contact since my daughter was born. No regrets. Now, for the update. Wow, the past 2 weeks have been a whirlwind, and honestly, I didn't expect to be back here updating, but I feel like I need to get this out. So, after I last posted, my husband and I had several long, heart-to-heart discussions. He was still on the fence about his parents, but agreed that we'd proceed with Kachion. Out of the blue, his parents sent us an elaborately written letter, along with childhood photos of my husband and a family heirloom, a watch that belonged to his great-grandfather. It was a touching gesture, and my husband broke down. He wanted to give them a chance. Here's where it got crazy. We agreed to meet at a neutral location, a local cafe, to talk things out. When we arrived, they were already there, and to my absolute shock, they had a mediator with them, someone they'd been seeing to help navigate their feelings about our relationship. The conversation was intense. They apologized profusely, even breaking down at points. They explained that they had been attending cultural sensitivity courses and therapy to address their prejudices. It was a lot to take in. At one point, the mediator asked to speak to me privately. She handed me an envelope. Inside were letters from other family members, all expressing support for our marriage and condemning the parents' behavior. I was floored. There was even a letter from my husband's sister, who we hadn't heard from in months due to the family divide. She wanted to reconnect and meet her future niece or nephew. After hours of conversation, they asked to touch my belly. It was a moment of vulnerability I wasn't prepared for, but I let them. Tears all around. We left the cafe with a tentative agreement to try small steps towards reconciliation. But just when we thought things were turning a corner, my husband's phone blew up with a message from his best friend who had seen a disturbing post on social media. His parents, in a local community group, had shared a photo of us from the cafe, boasting about being forgiving grandparents, overcoming racial barriers. It was as if they were using this narrative to repair their image in their social circles. I was livid. It felt like such a violation of our privacy and a manipulation of our pain for their gain. We confronted them over the phone, and it was another explosion of emotions. They claimed they were just excited and wanted to share their happiness, but didn't see how it was distorting the situation. My husband, who had been wavering, was now seeing the full picture. He understood that their actions could be both manipulative and genuine, which complicated things even further. As of now, we've decided to put distance between us and his parents again. They crossed a major boundary, and we need time to heal and refocus, especially with the baby coming soon. It's not the resolution I was hoping for, but I'm proud of my husband for standing up for our family. We're looking into family counseling to ensure we're a united front for when our child arrives. Who knows what the future holds? But for now, it's just us. And that's more than enough. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Family or not, respect is non-negotiable, especially when it comes to privacy. Sharing your photo without consent is a clear boundary violation. It's great that you're putting your own family unit first and seeking counseling. It's crucial to have a solid foundation for your child, away from any toxicity. Comment 2. You're the idiot. It sounds like the parents are trying to make amends. Perhaps sharing the photo was their misguided way of showing pride in their evolving relationship. Cutting them off again seems harsh, especially since they've shown remorse and you've received support from other family members. Maybe setting clearer boundaries on social media would be a better step than distancing. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your in-laws had no right to use your image to clean up their act. It's not just about a photo. It's about the underlying disrespect and manipulation. You're right to protect your peace and prep for your baby in a drama-free zone. Plus, seeking family counseling shows you're open to healing, just not at the expense of your dignity. Now, for the next story. My daughter invited her 2 nephews, her cousins, and their spouses to her wedding. A total of 4 were invited. They sent back their RSVPs with themselves and their spouses coming, a total of 4. When they showed up, they each brought their 2 teenage children, making it a total of 8 people. The venue was able to accommodate the extra meals, so they all were able to eat. My daughter called me and let me know that her cousins did not leave a gift and asked me to check with them in case she missed something. I called my nephews and each stated that they didn't leave a gift without providing any reason. They seemed insulted that I even asked, although I explained that I was asking in case they opened a gift and forgot to write it down. My nephews are in their ID 30s male and very well off. Am I the jerk for expecting them to leave something for my daughter? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Who goes to a wedding with children who weren't invited and doesn't bring a gift? They're the jerks, bought you for asking about it. Comment 2. I suggest sending them a link to this post. It would serve them right to see everyone trash them for being jerks. Comment 3. Not the idiot. So basically they wanted free entertainment and food. What jerks. Now for the update. So, wow, where do I even start? These past 2 weeks have been a whirlwind. After my last post, things pretty much exploded. My phone was blowing up with texts from both sides of the family. Turns out, my daughter's disappointment about the lack of gifts leaked into the family grapevine, and it became this huge thing. First, the day after I posted, my sister, the boy's mom, called me absolutely furious. She accused my daughter of being entitlet and said it was tacky to expect gifts, especially after allowing the extra guests. But then, plot twist, my sister wasn't aware that her sons didn't bring gifts. She assumed they had, and when she confronted them, all hell broke loose. One of the nephews, let's call him Dave, admitted that he had indeed bought a gift, a pretty expensive one. But get this, on the day of the wedding, he caught the other nephew, let's call him Mike, stealing it from his car. Mike apparently had some financial trouble he'd been hiding and planned to pawn the gift for cash. Huge family drama ensued, and the brothers actually got into a physical fight at their mom's house. In the meantime, my daughter was getting heated messages from her cousins, the teenagers, who were upset because they were being blamed for their parents' mess. It turns out they had pooled their own money to buy a small gift, but in the chaos of the wedding and the subsequent family fight, it got misplaced and never made it to the gift table. Now, just when I thought things couldn't get more dramatic, my nephew's wife, the one who's married to Dave, reached out to my daughter and apologized for the entire fiasco. She had no idea about the stolen gift and was mortified. To make amends, they sent over not just the original gift, but also an additional apology gift directly to my daughter and her new husband. This act of goodwill actually started a chain reaction. Mike, feeling remorseful after his confrontation with his brother, came clean to the whole family about his financial struggles and apologized for trying to steal the gift. He's now seeking help to get his finances in order. And, to put a cherry on top of this wild family saga, the teenager's lost gift finally turned up. It had been mistakenly placed in the trunk of a family friend's car. It was a heartfelt, handmade gift for my daughter, which she absolutely loved. Needless to say, this wedding will be talked about for years to come. Our family is starting to heal, but it's going to be a slow process. And my daughter? She's just happy this is all over and is focusing on her honeymoon now. What a ride. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your daughter has every right to feel disappointed if she was expecting gifts and didn't receive them. It's not entitlement. It's normal wedding etiquette for guests to bring gifts. It's good that your nephew's wife tried to make amends, and it's understandable that the teenagers felt wrongly accused. It seems like everyone is learning and growing from this situation. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Look, weddings aren't about the gifts, and it sounds like your daughter missed that memo. It's concerning that she places such importance on material things rather than the love and support around her. Calling out your family members and causing rifts over something so trivial is pretty entitled behavior. Maybe this is a teachable moment about what really matters in life. Comment 3. Not the idiot. The fact that there was theft involved makes this an entirely different situation. Stealing is never okay, regardless of the financial situation, and the fact that this was addressed and the gift was eventually returned shows maturity. It's great that the nephew is seeking help for his financial issues. Your family went through a lot, but it's heartening to see that there's healing happening. Now, for the next story, I, 43 years old female, had my cousin, 42 years old female, and her son, 8 years old male, over for a visit, and he was bored while my cousin and I were talking. So I told him he could play with my PlayStation 5, PS5. The problem was, every time he would die in the game, he would throw the controller across the room. The first time I saw him do it, I asked him to please not throw the controller since it's expensive to replace, around $70 to $80. The second time I saw him do it, I took the controller away and told him he couldn't play anymore. My cousin was like, "He's just a little boy. He doesn't know any better. I would understand if he had a disability, but he doesn't. I think 8 years old is plenty old enough to learn to respect other people's property. Am I the idiot?" Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. 8 is old enough to know better. If he was 2 or 3, this excuse would make sense. Your cousin is a sucky parent. Comment 2. My 4-year-old knows you don't throw the controller and you lose your game time privileges when you do. Not the idiot. Comment 3. If he's just a boy and doesn't know any better, then maybe teach him and he can play when he's older. Now, for the update. It's been a month since I posted about my cousin's son throwing my PlayStation controllers, and I wish I had better news. Since then, things took a turn for the worse. Last week, my cousin called to tell me her son was in the hospital. He had been at a friend's house and, true to form, got upset over a game and threw a toy. But this time, it wasn't a controller. It was heavier, and it hit another kid in the head. The injury was serious enough to warrant a hospital visit. The situation has torn the family apart. My cousin is devastated, mortified by her son's actions, and the parents of the injured child are understandably furious. They're considering pressing charges. My cousin has been reaching out to me for support, but it's hard. Part of me wants to be there for her, but another part is still upset over her lack of action from our own incident. To make matters worse, my PlayStation hasn't worked right since. I've been too wrapped up in the family drama to get it repaired. I'm out of a console, and my relationship with my cousin is strained. I keep thinking about whether things might have been different if she had addressed her son's behavior sooner. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I hope this is a wake-up call for her to seek help for her son's anger issues before anyone else gets hurt. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your cousin should have addressed her son's behavior after the PlayStation incident. It's not about the console. It's about recognizing and correcting harmful behavior. Now another child is hurt because of negligence. It's sad it took something this severe for her to possibly take action, but you're right to feel conflicted. Safety trumps family peace. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Your focus on the PlayStation when a child's been injured seems petty. Yes, your cousin should manage her son's behavior better, but this isn't the time to hold grudges over broken electronics. Offer support, encourage her to seek help for her son, and show some empathy for the family stress. It's about coming together to resolve the issue, not pointing fingers. Comment 3. Not the idiot. A wake-up call was needed here, and unfortunately, it came at a high cost. You're not wrong for expecting some accountability from your cousin earlier on. It's important to address these issues before they escalate, and you're justified in feeling hesitant to support her now. Hopefully, this will prompt your cousin to seek the help her son clearly needs. Now, for the next story. For context, we had a destination wedding in New Orleans. Our ceremony was not until 6 p.m., and the venue was the same as the hotel. My now husband spent the night before greeting guests and hanging out at the venue's private pool, with my mother-in-law included, while I had a girls' night out on Bourbon Street and a jazz ferry ride. Without any discussion or heads up, I awoke to 3 pounding knocks on our suite at 8 a.m. on the day of the wedding. My husband got up without his contacts in to see who was there. His mom wanted to come in and show the room to about 6 family members. She had already seen the suite yesterday. My husband said no, as we were not even awake. She still says it was just a joke and that it was not rude. Are we the jerks for not letting her in? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This right here. Yes, he was amazing. If it was me at the door, she probably would not have been allowed to come to the ceremony. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You need to make sure your husband talks to his mother about boundaries, or this'll get worse. Comment 3. Not the idiot, no. That was super rude of her. No class. Now, for the update. 2 weeks have flown by since the wedding, and you won't believe how things escalated after my last post. Buckle up, because it's been a roller coaster. After the whole debacle with my mother-in-law, trying to barge into our room the morning of our wedding, I thought we'd seen the last of her drama. But oh, how wrong I was. The wedding went ahead as planned, a beautiful ceremony followed by an evening of dancing and celebration. It was the stuff of dreams until the reception. Midway through the reception, my mother-in-law disappeared for a while, only to return with a street performer she'd somehow convinced to crash the party. This guy, dressed as a mime, starts performing unsolicited and decidedly non-wedding appropriate acts. Guests were confused, my wife was mortified, and I was furious. The situation finally diffused after I tipped the performer to leave, but tensions remained high. The next morning, we discovered that the mime wasn't the only surprise of the night. Someone had taken it upon themselves to go into our suite and decorate it with live chickens. Yes, chickens. Feathers everywhere, droppings on the bed, and the room in utter chaos. The hotel was apologetic, but clueless as to who was responsible. We might have laughed it off as a bizarre prank, but then we checked the security footage. You guessed it, the mastermind was none other than my mother-in-law. When confronted, she claimed it was payback for not letting her show the room to her relatives. She said we needed to lighten up and that it was just a bit of fun. Fun wasn't the word I'd use. It took hours to clean the mess, and the hotel understandably charged us for the damages. The incident caused a huge rift, and my wife and I decided to cut our stay short for a quieter, chicken-free ambiance elsewhere. But it didn't end there. Back home, my mother-in-law started a smear campaign against us on social media, painting herself as the victim of our unreasonable behavior and lack of humor. This split the family into camps and led to an all-out war of words online. In an unexpected twist, my wife's aunt, the mother-in-law's sister, reached out to us privately. She confessed that she'd been on the receiving end of her sister's antics for years and had had enough. She offered to pay for the hotel damages and apologized on behalf of the family. Touched by her gesture, we accepted her apology but declined the money. As for my wife and I, we're currently in couples therapy to navigate the fallout from her mother's actions. We've also decided to take a step back from family gatherings until things cool down. We never thought our wedding would turn into a cautionary tale about setting boundaries with in-laws, but here we are. So, Reddit, it's been a wild ride. And to think, it all started with a knock on the door. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your wedding day is supposed to be about you and your partner, not your mother-in-law's sideshow antics. Bringing a mime and chickens? She clearly wanted attention on her terms. Good on you for setting boundaries after such disruptive behavior. It's important to protect your peace, even if it means distancing from family for a while. Comment 2. You're the idiot for accepting the apology, but still distancing yourself from family gatherings. Family is messy, but it sounds like your mother-in-law's sister is trying to make amends. Don't let one person's mistake cause you to isolate from everyone who cares about you. Healing takes time, but don't cut off those who are reaching out and trying to help mend fences. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. Leaving the hotel early was a perfectly reasonable response to waking up to a room full of chickens. Of all things, your mother-in-law's behavior was not just intrusive, but also incredibly disrespectful. It's one thing to add a quirky touch to the celebration, but it's another to hijack the event entirely. Staying away from family gatherings to avoid drama is a smart move. Therapy is a great step toward healing. Stick to your guns. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.